Hi Capricorn. So this is gonna be a reading. I'm gonna do a 6 card spread on Jupiter. So Jupiter just went direct this past weekend, and so it'll take a little bit of time to kind of gain momentum, but it was in a 4-month retrograde, so it's been a lot about it's been in the sign of Capricorn since December, so it's all about it's not very comfortable in Capricorn. Capricorn's all about restriction, and versus, Jupiter is about expansion and, luck and, going with the flow. It's the wheel of fortune, And um, so it's been in your sign. Okay, so you've probably been experiencing a lot of change, like in the sense of like this has been probably affecting you like personally, like with your own personal growth more than like things around you. Like, I mean, it could still be, related to things around you because I mean, people like reflect, people mirror you and bring on lessons. Okay, but if you've been doing the hard work and listening to what has been calling like for your own personal expansion. Okay, like we have the Knight of Wands, so I do think you have been. Okay, you've been getting that like fire and figuring out what that like is. Okay, like what personally makes you happy, like what personally makes you get up out of bed every day. Okay, so what can we tell Capricorns today to help them stay in highest vibration and on their truest path? What did they, learn during Jupiter, like, retrograde? Like, what do they still have an opportunity to learn? So we're gonna do the 6 card spread. Okay, so your cards are ready to be cut. Kind of sticking. So you might have been feeling a little stuck for a little bit, which I mean, makes sense. Like a lot of planets are in retrograde right now. So I mean, and though they're starting to go forward, especially, but like Saturn's also been in retrograde, but it's about to go direct, pretty soon as well. And Saturn, rules Capricorn, so you've probably been feeling like a little bit more stuck than the like average person potentially, and especially depending on how things kind of like what kind of aspects you have in your personal chart. I do actually encourage you to like check out other signs, learn your personal chart. Like your Jupiter sign will definitely resonate with this reading as well. Okay, so on the bottom what do we have here? We have the Knight of Cups. Okay, so this is a new deck for me, so I haven't seen, like, I'm starting to, now that doing more videos, I'm starting to see them, but I haven't seen the Knight of Cups yet. Okay, so this has been a theme about, following your heart. It's like, the Knight of Cups, is that like, okay, like the Prince Charming. He knows how to woo those hearts and, he follows his heart. Again, still a knight, so it may not be as much as mature as, he could be, like, but he's learning, you know. We'll see how this goes, or how this plays in. Okay, so kind of the question, what's been kind of the theme is the Tower. Okay, so like I said, things have been probably affecting you quite a lot. So it has been, like, especially if this has been kind of like following your heart. It's like, what do you like? Following your heart may mean that, well, means that other things need to fall. It does mean like that other choices get excluded. Okay, but this is about a theme of, like, the Tower is something that has been built on faulty foundation. It is going to fall at some point. It was going to strike. Like, I mean, at this point, like, you're looking at it, it was getting taller and taller and thinner, and it just kind of hit the sky, and then it got struck with lightning, you know. But the thing is that after the Tower, if you've learned your lesson, you're able to build the right way this time. Not saying it wasn't right before. Everything has its lessons. This is a big lesson, and this is a major arcana. This is like, ultimately, if things have been hard, like, this is a gift from the universe, like, whatever Tower has been happening, whatever changes, or this is like kind of like, like as Jupiter goes direct, this can be the theme, okay? But I mean, if that is the theme, if something ends up crumbling because you're choosing to follow your heart, okay, it is meant to fall so that you can do it the right way. So you can, again, not saying it was wrong, but you meant to have those lessons, you know, you're meant to do it. And you should, like, something has been like calling you saying that, okay, if this tower hasn't happened yet, like, it's gonna happen, you know, like, you know, by being honest with yourself, by being honest with others, you can like reduce the damage of this, you know. But sometimes you can even be aware that the tower is going to happen. You're like, okay, I'm going to be like, and try to like avoid it or something like that. Or like, you know, just cover your like, there's no storm outside. There's nothing I can just like hide in my tower. But if you can see, they get shot out of their tower anyways. You know, you can't control lightning. You can't control where it strikes. You can predict where it kind of strikes. Like, I mean, you know, if you go back in the past, like back in the future, right? Like, I mean, they know where the lightning's going to strike, but even then, that, like, you know, that clock tower got hit. You know, they couldn't stop the clock tower from getting hit, but they knew when it was going to happen. Okay, move forward. Okay, so the general events is that there's been an ending. Okay, so this is the Ten of Swords. This has been a painful ending. And with the Tower, you know, like it would have hurt. And it would have been something that like really changed course. Okay. But a new day is dawning. You know, again, like after the Tower, after you get through the Tower, after you go through this journey and start following your heart, okay, you start seeing the star. You start seeing the light, you know. Again, no more, like you could have felt, you know, maybe betrayed, you know. You know, maybe by this Knight of Cups, you know, somebody that like maybe you thought it could be somebody who, you know, would last a long time, but they were really just kind of like that, like offering their cup everywhere, their cup of love, and then not really thinking about it and going on their way, potentially. You know, but something significant happened. And I do believe, though, like, I'm going to see how this plays out, but I'm going to predict that, like, you know, just with these, is that, you know, because of this Tower, whether it has already happened, I think it has been happening, like, you know, like probably, you know, Tower energy, any major arcana can take months to play out, you know. Like, this is a minor arcana, so I mean, like, it's not gonna really, like, the event that ended, like, won't seem as significant, I guess. But it will be. And it'd be like a whole restructuring, okay? But this time based on, you know, emotions, you know, based on hearts, you know, like, but anyways, I am going to predict that, like, you have been following your heart. Okay, so what do we have here? You're showing up as the Eight of Cups. Okay, so depending on when this Tower happened, it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, you'll know when, like, what significantly, like, crumbled, what fell down, like, what was shocking. You know, it could have been a piece of news, it could have just been an epiphany kind of thing, but it was emotionally, you know, fulfilling to you at one point. You know, it's like, okay, so we have the emotions here with the Eight of Cups. This is about walking away, but it's also about walking towards, you know, what is your wish fulfillment. You know, again, after the Tower comes the Star. That is that significant, like, wish fulfillment, getting your wish, following your star, that that North Star kind of thing, right? You know, we have emotions here, you know, like he's going on that journey. He's following his heart where he's going to take it, and this guy is on a journey as well. You know, he stacked up these cups, these 8 cups. Okay, you know, like it took time. It definitely was, you know, hard to like walk away. Like this Tower was shocking, this ending was hurtful, you know, like even if you know it was best, even if you know that you need to go, you know, it's like it's still painful. to walk away or to like find out this news, you know, but this is a process of like emotionally distancing yourself from it. And I think you are. You're following your heart. You're going after that wish. Okay, if you look here, you know, it's like, okay, if you want that personal wish fulfillment, if you want that 10 of cups too, which is like could be that personal, like that fulfillment with another, that happily ever after, that, you know, that fairy tale, you know, it's like this one wasn't gonna do it. You know, like the ninth one is missing. So you're now going on your journey, you know, whether physically or emotionally or whatever. Okay, you know, after this ending, you're like, okay, what is next? You know, what is my heart calling me to do? Okay, and what is like happening in terms of like your spiritual, you know, guidance is 2 of cups. It was so funny. Like I was just thinking like about like, okay, so I just did Sagittarius, you know, and so the fact that I even bring it up may like even resonate with you, even if you don't even know you have Sagittarius in your chart, who knows. But like I always keep things like I always try to keep the cards like upright. Don't really like them in reverse, but I will read them in reverse. If it comes up, it comes up. I get a whole different message, right? And as I'm like going through the deck this time, again, it's a brand new deck. I haven't seen this 2 of Cups yet, really. But I was like straining of the deck so I could have fresh new things for Capricorn. I'm like, oh, I haven't seen the 2 of Cups yet. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. It kind of actually reminds me of my one of my favorite 2 of Cups, which is from the Steampunk Tarot, which is kind of like, I think like part of the line is kind of like, you know, like some say it's like chemistry or whatever, because I mean it was like a, you know, like they have actually quite a symmetry. So 2 of Cups is, you know, that partnership, that love, you know, that soulmate, that like seeing eye to eye with another. So it's like, you know, your spiritual guidance is kind of like to leave one situation so you can find that love with another, you know, that partnership, you know. And it's like, you know, um, but it's like something like, you know, because they're showing like, you know, 2 people, you know, putting like a science, oh, you science people are gonna tell me what it is, like, you know, you put science liquid, science liquid. Oh, love it. Okay, so maybe you're also struggling on like how to communicate this love. I'm just gonna say, because like now you know you want it, you want what the love, and it's just like maybe you're struggling with the words. And maybe the like your guidance is helping you to tell you to communicate, you know, even if you don't know what to say. Like I don't know how to explain it. I don't even know why I'm even explaining another deck. But it basically kind of say it's like some say it's like chemistry or something like that. Some say, you know, I don't know, but it's like I call it magic, you know, or I call it alchemy, like or whatever thing. This is alchemizing with another, you know. So you're following your heart, okay? And then maybe it's like your higher self is telling you that, you know, there is somebody out there. You know, even there was this painful ending, whether you caused it or another person caused it, okay? But you want your wish fulfillment, okay? And they are there, and I think you know that, okay? So I just realized there's all these like gems on them. I like gems. Okay, so it is probably time to communicate. You know, he communicates. You know, it's like maybe you think you're not ready because this has been so painful. But maybe because it's been so painful, in a lot of ways you are ready. Because it's like it's time, like it's like your higher self is telling you it's time to like partner with somebody that, you know, will be emotionally fulfilling, that will be that wish fulfillment, you know, to make that like full commitment, okay? You know, like say let's say if also it's like, okay, so the Tower is major arcana. So this could have been a long time ago. Could have been the last year. Like let's say like probably since December. Okay? And then maybe like sometime since May or something like that, maybe you met somebody new. But you hadn't really emotionally like walked away from the other person. but you have this partnership that like is like a gift of the above. You know, it could be a past life connection as well, a soulmate connection, you know, like either way, you guys see eye to eye. You guys can make magic together, you know? And so it's about like after this tower, realizing that it is time that you like, you know, you've been spending this time reflecting and envisioning, like, you know, like, and like trying to see what you want your future to be. And so someone's been presented to you, you know, and you probably already know who they are, you know, and you've been following your heart. Your heart's been leading you. Okay. So let's see how it goes. Okay, your environment, okay, is the Ten of Pentacles. Okay. So if there's an ending, okay, so I mean like the Ten of Pentacles, okay, that is the you know, that happily ever after in terms of like, you know, having a happy home, you know, you have family. So I mean again, this could just be represent your family around you, and maybe there's been some kind of tower moment within your family. You know, but this is also about like it is still a 10. So 10s still represent endings. So it does seem like there probably has been some kind of ending in your home environment in some capacity that's been hard. Okay, but it is so that you can have emotional fulfillment. Okay, and once you are emotionally fulfilled in terms of your own self and your own happiness, you are able to radiate that love to others. You know, like if you do have a, you know, kids, you know, that you've been thinking about, you know, and like, you know, it's been hard, like on the family maybe, or like, you know, something that's been, you know, you know, like, you know, like there's been a breakdown, a tower moment in a family structure, for example, you know, like it's, what am I trying to say? The positive is that, again, if you're able to, like, when you are more focusing on yourself and your own happiness, okay, your family will see this. Your family will notice, okay? You know, the ones that, you know, that are supportive, okay, they'll notice these changes within you, okay, and be supportive, okay? Because it's like, you know, if you're in a potentially a negative environment, if things have been really painful and like really hard and you haven't been following your heart, for example, you know, kind of feeling stuck maybe, you know, it's like, you know, your family can feel that, you know, like, I mean, again, hurt people hurt other people, you know, and like, you know, might be snippy and it might like put a train reaction on, right? So, I mean, ultimately, if you're putting yourself first and your own happiness first, that does put your family first too. But it does seem like there has been an ending, you know, that is hard, you know, but it's no longer parts of it. There's no longer, you know, what you need for your own spiritual growth, for your own emotional growth. Okay. And so the answer, well, guidance, the Six of Wands, success. This is like he's coming home from battle. This is like that triumphant, you know, like before the Six of Wands is the Five of Wands, right? So conflict, competition, maybe too many people, you know, but he's coming home from battle, you know, like maybe literally home, you know, or just like again, you know, home within, you know, himself, you know, and like, but again, if there was a tower moment within your home environment, it can be representing finding another home or going back home or returning. But either way, you're stronger. You're victorious, and I do think you have a new person around you, and it's about following your heart. It's amazing, and this keeps showing itself because after I took the Knight of Cups, okay, we had the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so that is that new opportunity. Okay, that comes after the Ten of Pentacles. So it's like, okay, I learned those lessons, like that was a cycle. Okay, it could have taken, 20 years to do or whatever the case is, right? It could have been 12 years. It doesn't matter how long it's been, you know. But it was a long cycle. I've learned the lessons, but now I'm gonna like, take this shiny new opportunity, okay? And start something fresh, like I may not have done this before, but you know, like especially if like okay, if this represents like a very like aces, sorry, pentacles, okay, are the slowest energy because they're the most tangible, because they're the most real, okay? Maybe you've had like a whole family, like you've had, you know, like unfortunately too, like this could have meant that like, you know, someone could have passed away, you know, and, but you're finally, if someone did pass away, you're finally ready, okay, to like emotionally distance yourself, okay, because this can be seen, like, again, it's not necessarily like, I mean, okay, these cups are still here. You're still gonna remember it. You're still gonna have the fond memories, like, but sometimes it's just time to move forward. Okay? People want, everybody wants you to be happy. People that love you want you to be happy. If someone did pass away, they want you to be happy. And it's a gift from the, oh my goodness, I'm like starting to cry. Okay, but it's a gift from the above. Okay, whatever is being presented to you. Okay, and you'll be successful. Okay, but if someone didn't die, and I'm so sorry if they did, it could have been a really long time ago. But I mean, happiness is around you. Okay, their memory will always be there. Even if again, if this has been a separation, it's like the memory, the legacy will always be there. Okay, but you do need to think about your happiness. You do need to think about, like, ultimately, okay, if you think about this as about seeing eye to eye with another, thinking about a soulmate connection. If you're still emotionally connected to the past in one way or another, right? It's blocking the opportunities for this person as well. It's kind of punishing them in some capacity. Like, you're not intending to it, of course you're not. But the other person, deserves the love too, right? Especially if there is that connection. Granted, if you don't want it, they'll get, the universe won't keep them stagnant. They'll find somebody else, But I do think this has been a process about really emotionally letting somebody go, okay, but you're going to be gifted with something amazing, okay? Jupiter is going to bless you so, so much, okay? And it's trying to move you forward, okay? Even if this is not somebody specifically that you have in mind, doesn't matter. Somebody's coming around at some point in time, especially once you've emotionally, like, allow yourself to let go, okay? Oh yeah, so there's that pentacle again. Okay, what is this? Knight of Cups. Okay, so what is the takeaway message you can get, Capricorn? Okay, again, it's been in your sign. Jupiter's been in your sign for a year. Or sorry, not really a year, 8 months or 9 months or something like that. Like since December. So it's been really, breaking down your structures, breaking down what you're like been used to. It's like, what doesn't fit anymore? What do you need to let go? So what is the takeaway message we can give Capricorn? The Hangman. Okay, so I do think that, so the Hangman is a major arcana. So what we have here, okay, the two major arcanas are like the Tower, okay, which can be an epiphany too. Like maybe it's just an epiphany about like, okay, do you know what? I'm actually healed about this. Like I'm actually good. I'm ready for this love. I'm ready to follow my heart. I'm ready for this success. I'm ready for this recognition, of all the hard work I fucking did, you know? So this can be about like, taking like you now having a new perspective of what you went through, you know? But it's also like the hangman can't stay there forever. Like, granted, he's comfortable, like he's not like, even though it's called the hangman, it's not like it is about like he is in peace. Like this is about, that like universal spiritual like halt, causing you to pause. But I think that's you know, what this like retrograde has been. So like let's just say like too, okay, like maybe you've been, you know, like if a relationship ended a long time ago, like maybe you've been dating a little bit, like seeing people, but they hadn't really been like that good or whatever kind of thing, or it seemed like as you were like moving forward, like something was stopping you, maybe, or whatever kind of thing. And maybe it was because you hadn't actually emotionally like let things go. Okay, so if you did really like, you were either attracting people that were mirroring things that you either needed to heal within yourself, probably, I'm saying either, but it was probably even both, or like, you know, like it was halting you because like if you started to move forward, too fast, for example, you could have just potentially just hurt more people, like, from, like being too emotionally distant, like not fully giving yourself fully, like maybe someone's like offering you the car, they're being, vulnerable, they're like telling you like whatever, but they're not getting it in return, for example, or what could have happened, throughout the last few months or something like that, with the hangman. Okay, so it's like if you haven't been looking at kind of like what blessing is, like in the sense of like, you know, he's about looking at the situation from another perspective. Things look different when they're upside down, but he still can't stay there forever. All the blood's gonna rush to his head, man, you know? And if it is about a partnership, for example, how long is that person gonna wait? Even if they want to wait, for example, how long can they wait before they're now jeopardizing their self-respect? Seven of Wands, which is underneath. So you might be like resisting this change, potentially. But I think this has been a process of like, like if not, like I think things are starting to kind of move forward throughout the next, few months. And like, what would make you feel successful? You know, you've battled hard, but I do think it's now time to like, accept the cup. Not be so defensive. Like, I mean, it could have been very painful. It definitely was very painful. Definitely. Okay, but you learn lessons. Okay, and inherent with this, if you learn these lessons, okay, like, from emotionally detaching from some things, it's like, no longer holding on to that pain, it's over. Okay, but you are going to be successful. Follow your heart. Okay, I think there's a partnership or a love, something around you. Okay, and if you don't see it, it can just be about like, taking a new perspective. Okay, but what will make you happy? What will be your happily ever after? What is that legacy that you want to build? What can last the test of time this time? Anyways, um, it's definitely been hard, but I mean, it's going to be another 12 years before Jupiter gets in your sign, and ultimately it's not Jupiter, it's like probably it's Saturn that's, doing this, more likely. And then like the stellium of planets, like the group of planets that are in Capricorn, so you're dealing with a lot, okay? But Jupiter is the planet of rewards, it's like if you are learning these lessons when it comes to your, personal expansion, it's like, you know, whatever did not work in the past was probably holding you back, restricting you, okay? You've been fighting the Capricorn urge of structure, like that internal, I need that structure kind of thing. But then, Jupiter is pushing you and pushing you and pushing you to be like, okay, expand, because this is holding you back and this was holding you back, okay? So I do think this has been a whole process of emotionally distancing yourself so you can, get that soulmate, that partnership, like that legacy. Anyways, it's been tough, but I think you're through the tough part though. Like, I mean, it's time for, like, I think you can see, like, what is blooming, and it's really gonna develop by the time, like, if you follow your heart, it's really gonna develop by the end of the year. Keep at it, man. I know it's been hard, but you got this. Take care, cat.